Nice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Patch. This week brought to you by NatureBox and Trunk Club. Thank you, NatureBox and Trunk Club, for filling us with delicious snacks and then putting delicious clothes on our body.
Yes.
Delicious clothes, huh? Yeah, great.
Making us good inside and out.
There
Right.
you go.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm Gus.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Meg.
And I'm Gus.
And
we're
I'm
here.
flipping
Oh, yeah,
it.
I gotta flip that thing. We're here to do The Patch, talk about video games. I'm sad. I've missed a couple of episodes of The Patch now. I want to start off by saying that I'm sad I missed the game club about Her Story.
Okay, I'm really sad you missed it because Ashley hated it. Ryan was very meh about it, and I just needed some support.
It was one of the best games ever made.
Really?
Thank you.
Really?
Thank you.
Ryan is not
I
convinced of
finally
that.
No.
picked something that wasn't fucking
Absolutely
Sunset.
amazing. I think I slacked you and I was like, that was
I
your
did.
choice, right? Because that was glorious.
But when you did, you said, Her Story was your choice, right? And I wrote back like, yes. And then you were like, one of the best games ever. And I was like, are you being sarcastic? I was so scared.
So good.
I mean, it was a game. Well, it wasn't really a game.
It was an experience.
It was an
Jermo.
experience,
Ooh,
I guess.
experience.
Yeah, no,
Ryan,
it's, you know.
I remember Ryan saying, I got to go do game club. I was like, oh, yeah, what game are you playing? He goes, Her Story.
I thought you were going to make it up something an offensive name like Bitch Tail
No,
or
I mean,
something.
he just looked so defeated.
I mean, it wasn't awful.
Oh,
it was
it's hard. I had to use my brain
It
for
was
this
an-
game. Oh.
you didn't,
That
though.
sounds just like Ryan.
It does. That sounds like me every day. I hate thinking bad.
Brain
Words
hurt
bad.
Bad. It was really good. I'm sorry I missed it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I totally agree. Love that game. Probably maybe one of my favorite game club games that we've done. I can't say my favorite because I think we did Papers, Please in the past.
We did. We did
Yeah.
do Papers, Please.
So.
We also did God Save the Queen or
Oh, that was a
All
good
of the
one,
Queen
too.
or
That was
whatever.
good.
That was such a good one.
We should compile a list of our favorites.
Yeah.
Should we just rank them?
Like we have like that one of those Steam Curator pages, right?
Yeah.
Like we should put all of the
We
game
do.
club
We
games in
did
there.
once upon a time have a patch Steam group.
Yeah. We should revisit that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we are. We're developing ideas for the show on the show. How meta
Welcome
can we
to the
get?
meeting.
It's like a meeting, yeah.
Yeah. I'm all my entire day's been meetings. I left a meeting to come here and do the patch. I don't know what happened. My life's
That's
terrible.
all. That's pretty much all anybody's life is now anymore. Rooster Teeth, the meeting.
I haven't
That's our game.
Yeah, and I've been out of town, so I haven't had a chance to play too many games. Like, Uncharted 4 came out last week, and I was gone, so I haven't had a chance. I just started playing it yesterday. I've been a week late on it, and I'm
do you
really
think?
I'm having fun with it. It's good. It seems like a really fun to try.
It
I'm
seems
only
like
like
a fantastic game.
I'm only like 3 hours in, but yeah, I'm having an.
I've just
absolute
been
blast with
watching it.
Yeah.
We've been doing the Let's Watch series with it, and so I've just been watching Michael play it, but it's
I-
beautiful.
I don't remember which review it was, but on one of
Look at that.
the reviews I read talked about how they liked the gunplay in this game and they never felt like the past Uncharted games had good gunplay. But I always felt like that was one of the highlights
Yeah.
of the series was how how visceral and how good the gunfights were. I wish I
thought-
remembered what review it was. I should look it up.
I
Kaden, fix your
loved-
fucking chair. It's way squeaky.
Good God. Or stop moving so much. That came out not jokey at all, and it just sounded shitty. I'm sorry.
Can you not breathe for the next 57
God, you're
minutes?
fucking up our lives. No, Uncharted 2 had fantastic gunplay. And in fact, Uncharted 2 had such good gunplay. I love that it was cover based and you'd move from cover to cover, but you would do that thing where, like in puzzle games, you discover something and you're like, I'm so smart. And then it's like, that's what the game wanted you to do. There was a gunfight in particular in Uncharted 2 where I like leapt to a different part and I was like, oh, I'm so smart being over here. And then it's like, this is where I'm supposed to take cover next. Or like
Yeah.
it made me feel smart.
It was like that
I
outdoor
love
market
that.
area, right?
Yes,
I know exactly
yes.
what you're talking
Because
about.
I've got
Because I
smart.
had the same revelation at the same time, and I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, right, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing."
We're gaming
was
soulmates,
led to
me and
this
Gus.
conclusion without realizing it.
Right,
That's
I would-
actually that's the sign of a great level maker. Is
Well,
if they can channel you into a direction and you didn't even realize they did it.
Right. It's
Yep.
good level making,
Yeah.
and I think very robust gameplay testing.
Yeah.
Like watching, where people struggle, and watching, where people want to go, and what the flow looks like. Yeah.
And boxes with wheels
And
everywhere.
God. I like that there's a lot of people that are on my side about that.
There's
Because
also a lot of people mad at you about that. So
there's a lot of people annoyed that. 'cause
I've
I
only
keep-
encountered one box on a wheel.
Well, believe
Other-
me, everywhere you go, regardless of the civilization that is behind it,
or how ancient.
created the same box with wheels with omnidirectional casters, and they all survived through time.
It infuriates Ryan. So like
God.
during the game, Nathan will be like, "Oh, I gotta get up on that ledge somehow," and you'll just hear Ryan go, "If there's a fucking box with wheels around the corner."
In a dilapidated, destroyed pirate city, it's like nothing has survived. Vines have grown through all the stonework and the buildings, pulling them down into ruin. And that box with wheels. No problem.
No rust.
Oh, Ryan doesn't approve of the box with
Just make
wheels.
I mean, there's so many things you could have done with that. Like, it could have been a rock. It could have been, I mean, just, you
What are-
knocked
A rock
any-
with wheels? That makes no sense, Ryan.
What are you, a writer for the Washington Post?
Yeah. Whoa. Only one of them, though,
Yeah,
because we
that's true.
did cover that Washington Post review that was very unfavorable. But what we didn't put in the story, and what people pointed out, and we appreciate people pointing out, was there was another Washington Post review, which he gave it a perfect score and loved it.
The other thing
So,
is,
dueling reviews.
So yeah, there was some controversy because I
Yes.
guess one of the reviews was really
Incredibly negative.
really critical of the game, and I think when it got
well, very non-specifically critical,
right
too. Just
when it
like-
got posted to Metacritic, it got assigned a
4 out of
score
10.
of 4, even
Yeah.
though on the original review they didn't have a score.
But the guy, apparently, the more I read into it, now my shot looks like shit. So, Ryan, get your shitty shoes out of my shot. Apparently, he,
nice
in
shoes.
his first draft to the
people hate
Washington
my
Post,
shoes
from what I
just 'cause
read,
they're mine.
did give it a score. And the Washington Post chose not to run his score.
I see.
So,
I like that a lot of game review websites have moved away from score. You know, I know I think Polygon still does them, but Kotaku does. You know, like the good and the bad, and then just
Right.
like a little bit of information.
like buy or rent. They used to do like buy, rent, not own
I don't even
something.
I don't even think they do that anymore.
Yeah, Kotaku.
well,
used to
rental
do.
is not as much of a thing as it once was. Is it? I mean, I guess you can still red box things, but
Yeah, but
it's not like you can go down to
What about, like
Blockbuster.
GameFly? Isn't that still a
Yeah.
thing?
Does that still
There you
exist?
go.
Really?
There you go.
Absolutely. I saw a commercial for them the
All
other
right.
day.
I
Yeah,
would
they-
like to say though that as much as I enjoy making fun of the box with wheels things, in this case I'm usually just making fun of it out of love because I do enjoy this game. It's been
The
fun to
game's
watch.
really good.
Yeah, the multiplayer is really strong. I've been thinking about like I've said a few times that I feel like it was too much traversal. Like the
Yeah, you're climbing on rocks.
That's a
Yeah,
large part of the game. Yeah.
It is, and I think maybe if you're the one doing it, it's a easier experience. But if you're just watching someone climb on rocks, like from a let's watch perspective,
Gotcha.
that's less enjoyable. It's like, all right, he's been climbing on that rock for about 10
There's a
minutes.
lot of climbing.
It's a lot of traversal.
a ton.
Is
Also, traversal is almost inherently always going to be non-dynamic. It's like that is the path. And some games make it they're really good at making it so that it's not as obvious. And I don't feel like Uncharted has done a great job of making it
like
where it's
level
like,
design.
yeah, well, they do. They have so many great level design elements in most of what they do, but the traversal's all just like, all right,
Sometimes.
let's go to the
But
white
there,
one.
I think
Sometimes
there are a
it's
lot of
puzzling.
times where it's really, really well hidden, where it's like, oh, there's extra snow on that ledge, so that's like it's usually white or yellow you're
Yeah.
looking for in Uncharted, but sometimes it'll be like, oh, like this ledge looks a little different, where it does that thing where there are dead ends in the traversal, so you're like, oh, I wasn't supposed to go this way, or like, oh, I wonder if I can go over here. Oh, I was supposed to go that way.
Or like tire grapple, drop off, then swing this direction. You can swing over that thing.
mean-
that was kind of cool when they did that. And then they added a new mechanic to climbing, like 10 chapters in.
Yeah,
or
but it was a
something.
really lame one. It was the they gave you a spike that you just cram into porous
So
rock.
then there's a different type of rock face.
But it's literally now you climb this rock face. Oh, and you cross over a thing with the porous rock, and he's like, "All right, I'm climbing
At least
normal."
it's a different thing
spike.
to look for
But
rather
you don't
than
do
just the
anything
ledge.
different. There's no different
It's a
mechanic
different
there.
button.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
He had to actually hit something again. Maybe that's something that doesn't translate to watching
Right.
it.
Right, so would you say it's not as fun to watch? Because I've been holding off on playing Uncharted until Gavin comes back.
I'm having fun.
It's still
watching
fun to watch. It's just some of those pieces are a little bit long, but it's not like unbearably long.
Because I don't think it's a game he would play, but he likes to watch me play games, and I always think of Uncharted as a movie you play.
Yeah,
Yes.
It'd
it's
be a fun one for him
cinematic.
to
It's
watch.
beautiful. Like it's well acted.
Of course it is. Of
that's-
course it is. Nolan
Yeah.
North.
Like I said again, I'm only like 3
mean
hours in
Troy
so far,
Baker?
but
Troy Baker.
I liked the
Wait,
the
Nolan
nod
North
to
is also
Crash
in
Bandicoot.
Yeah,
Uncharted,
they're
isn't he?
both in it.
Thank
Nolan-
you.
Are they both? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who's Nolan North?
Sam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the brother.
Makes sense.
I liked the little playable Crash Bandicoot section.
That was awesome.
Early in the game, and they even like show like the close up of the PlayStation 1 and the boot logo, and they make fun of how long it takes to for the game to start.
Yeah, but it's also funny because like they only let you play the level once, and at the end of it, since we were watching Michael's just like, "Let me try again. Like, I'm not gonna let you beat my score."
I could have done better.
Right? Yeah.
I really thought about turning my
Okay.
PlayStation off and restarting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's all take a step back to
Uh-oh.
20 seconds ago when you all said that Nolan North played Sam. Okay.
Does he not?
No, Nolan North is Nathan Drake.
Well, that's blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
The other one's Sam.
Oh, yeah,
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker.
Okay, because I was like, wait a
Backwards.
second. Nolan North is the one who looks just a little too old to play Nathan Drake. Why?
I don't remember who's who. I just
Thank
remember
you.
that
Sorry.
Baker came up in that
I will
news
be the
story
fact
we did.
checker now for
Yeah.
the patch.
Baker was the
Just
one that
gotta just-
retweeted the change.org petition.
Troy Baker is the one who tweeted the change.org petition and then apologized and said he gets too defensive of his work. Continue with your discussion, gentlemen.
That was it. It's good.
Crash Bandicoot.
You should
Yeah.
use Crash Bandicoot.
That's
Sure.
discussion over.
I wanted to quit the game and restart it just to
I'm curious if
be better.
There must
like-
be a trophy.
Well, if
Please.
it's built in that she beat you, if you play the perfect round of Crash Bandicoot, does it still contrive to have you defeated somehow?
I'm
I
looking.
don't know.
I'm trying
Like,
to
I
see right
want to
here.
know. Yeah, is there a different cutscene if you win? Because we just saw the one of you lost if you didn't beat her score.
Does she
see-
make
I-
an impossible
I
score?
see
Does he
a
break
walk,
his
I see a
finger?
walkthrough video here on YouTube of how to beat Elena's high score.
Okay.
Bam! It must be a trophy, right? That's gotta be.
Let's see. Here's how to beat. Yeah, to unlock the trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is.
we
a,
knew it.
there
As
is a
soon
trophy
as
for
we
it.
started playing, we're like, yeah, that's a trophy.
There should be a dishwashing mini game because if you lose, you like that's the agreement in the game. You should have had to go wash the
Wash
dishes.
the
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. That's like the whole discussion, the whole reason that they're playing the game.
If it was on Xbox, I would have restarted the game, guaranteed.
You
'Cause
need that Chivo.
Need that Chivo. Trophies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When Greg Miller was here, he was like, oh, trophy. And I was like, who gives a fuck?
Don't care.
Chivo. I
Don't
understand.
care. Chivos.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. And then once I'm done with Uncharted, then I'm gonna play Doom. I haven't even played Doom yet.
Doom
Love
is
Doom.
yeah. We've been playing a lot of Doom. Doom. I've said this a few times, but it's a weird statement to make. And again, I guess all cards on the table here. Yes, Rooster Teeth has had business dealings with Bethesda surrounding Doom, but we did not get free copies of it.
Right.
And
I got a free copy of it.
all right, I did not.
For full
Michael did.
disclosure.
Michael
Michael
did,
did.
but
Michael
no
did.
other Achievement Hunter did.
And I have no obligation to say anything nice about the game.
In fact, we've covered really negative news about it on our channel.
In this particular
yeah,
case,
we have
though,
no stake.
yeah,
in
I have no
Just-
stake in
yeah.
it that requires me to say nice things. What's been really interesting to me is a lot of first-person shooters these days. I go into them and I don't expect to have a good time anymore because it's going to be very generic first-person shootery. I think what I like about Doom, I've really enjoyed the single player so far, is that they brought it back just enough to a game. Like they're self-aware of the fact that it's a game enough to draw you into wanting to play it. So they've got little mini challenges like the rune trials. They've got everything basically you interact with upgrading your character has additional challenges mounted to it and upgrade points and like do 100 of these and it's just enough to keep you intrigued and doing things as you play through the game to gamify the game
Yeah.
enough to make it fun. And it was really enjoyable. I'm enjoying this more than I've enjoyed any Doom previous to it. And I was a fan of the series. So I like where they've gone with it.
It's extremely faithful to the old Doom as well. Like, you would think looking at the graphics and how good it looks and all this stuff that it would be, how could they possibly copy that? But even just certain mechanics like that, there's no sprint function. You're always just going really fast.
You're always going balls to the
There's
wall.
no reload in it. Like, you just keep firing until you're out of ammo.
How is that?
It's I mean
Yeah,
it's,
you just keep firing. You can carry as many weapons as you want, and just cycle through them. It's just, and like, even just mechanics like, you found a door. Oh, it's locked with the blue key. Go find the blue key. Like, even stuff like that from Doom is perfect.
It's really cool because there are secrets. There's several secrets hidden throughout the thing, and it's not a game that makes itself particularly difficult to find the secrets. Sometimes they're a little challenging to figure out where the platform jump is, but they're all on the map, and you can unlock things that show them. Essentially, you can tell where it is. How to get to it is a little bit harder, but. One of the secrets on each level is a classic Doom level, which you can play the level in its entirety in like an exterior menu, I think. But
Yeah.
you get a little segment of it in the game. So you'll run into this piece of the game that is lifted straight from Doom or Doom 2, and then you can run back out and just transition from that world of Doom 1 or Doom 2 back into the modern graphics. But the feel of the movement, like there was something very particular about how Doom and Quake moved. It was how fast
a
they
little
moved.
That
sway
Twitch
to
shooter.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
I just
It was
loved
really
it.
fast. Yeah, it was an early Twitch shooter. It was somewhere along the line as we got to fancier graphics, the way players moved slowed down. The movement of how things move. You move through the world. Like at Doom, you're always at this constant high frantic pace. And
Frantic.
Frantic.
Frantic?
Yeah. Frantic.
Frantic?
Or
no.
or frenetic.
Frantic
Is
is
frantic
a
a
word.
word?
Isn't it
Frantic is a
frenetic?
word.
Frenetic. There's too many words being
Frantic.
thrown around that I don't
Boom.
understand.
Who knows what's right? Anyway.
Frenetic.
Frenetic, sorry. Frenetic.
Boom! I know what's right.
I just said
Sorry.
words. I didn't say I was right.
Fuck, Rye, I gambled on
You backed me.
I tried.
That was a mistake.
I know because
It was a
it was a
mistake.
magic,
Frenetic,
card.
sorry.
It was like the
As soon as Gus
frenetic
said
is
something
the
with
way I
more
learned it.
syllables, I was like, I'm with Gus.
Fuck yeah.
Frenetic. There we go. It had a pacing to it that has not really been duplicated in any game until now. So it has a really interesting callback to those old Doom games that makes it feel different than other games.
Yeah, and the multiplayer like goes with that as well. I love the multiplayer in it, even though like I really have fallen out of playing stuff like Call of Duty and like because I just got bored of it. It was the same thing. Something about the gameplay of this one, it's just about moving really fast and being unpredictable. Like if someone's across the map shooting at you in Call of Duty, that means you're dead. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just game over. This one, you can weave just directly at them and try and get to them in time. But
It's
like,
not as Twitch shooter as Call of Duty's. I mean, you can definitely absorb some damage and you can grab armor and things like that. It's somewhere between Halo and Call of Duty.
Yeah.
because
Yeah, that's
it's
the
not.
thing that annoys me. That's why I love to play SWAT on Halo, because Halo is like, oh, I've shot you 45 fucking times and you're still not dead.
There are times when you feel like that in Doom multiplayer, especially because it is kind of neat that when they have armor, there's a visual representation. You can see it on their body as it like glows. It goes from green to red and then black.
Oh, okay.
And then you start actually damaging them. But yeah, sometimes you're like, why? I've been
and as
lighting
you
into this
shoot them,
guy.
numbers come off.
Yeah.
You know exactly how
Oh,
much
like which
damage
damage
you
you're
do.
doing?
Yeah.
I feel so, I missed the boat. Doom was the one, like the Doom and Quake were the games that no one ever had to pee during, so I never got to play when I was young. Like my older brothers were always playing. I never got to get in on those, so I fully missed the boat. Wolfenstein is like the only thing I can think like Octoom is like what I think of when I think of like
Mein Leben.
yes, space bar, this wall open.
Wolfenstein.
But that's all I think is like that was the only one I got to experience. I never got to play Doom or Quake or any of those games when I was younger. So I feel
much
fully
fun.
like I've missed the boat on this exciting new chapter of Doom.
I had a real problem with Wolfenstein, the original Wolfenstein 3D, because it gave me terrible headaches anytime I played that
Really?
game.
Why?
I don't know. There was something weird about it. I could play Doom. I could play Quake. Obviously, those came a little later. But Return of Castle Wolfenstein 3D, or that's what's called, right? Whatever. Wolfenstein.
Right.
Yes.
Anytime I played, I would get like this piercing headache right here. It was always like on the right side of my temple, and like I would play it for a little while, and I'd be like, all right, I have to put it down.
You know,
for a
I
minute.
get that with Fable 3 gave me that so hard. I had to like take a couple days break from Fable 3 where I got like a crazy headache trying to play that fucking game.
I
don't know
mean,
what
that's
it
never
is.
happened to me.
Right.
Well, I
It
wonder
does
if
make
with
me
Wolfenstein,
sick.
it's
Same
like,
with like Alien Resurrection made me super ill.
Oh,
I almost
really?
threw up playing
Yeah, it's
that game.
probably just the CRT monitors back in the day. That was an
well,
electron
I'm just wondering
gun
because like
firing shit at your
Wolfenstein had
face.
that bright blue
Yeah.
everywhere. Like
Yeah.
you're just constantly looking at it. Like that must have gotten to your head.
Gus
eventually.
is just allergic to sprite-based graphics.
I'm allergic to electrons. Just right here is where they hurt. Let me read this little bit here. I want to remind everyone this episode of The Patch is brought to you by NatureBox. Tired of eating the same bland food while trying to stay healthy? NatureBox has over 100 snacks for that. Making smarter choices doesn't mean you have to eat boring food. NatureBox makes snacks that are full of flavor and none of the junk. NatureBox makes over 100 ridiculously delicious snacks that they source from all over the world for you to choose from. They got great ones like lemon tea biscuits and guacamole bites. NatureBox makes it really easy to find snacks you want without questioning what's in them. Plus, they're constantly adding new and interesting snacks for you to discover. NatureBox believes you shouldn't eat something you don't like, so if you try a snack you don't like, they'll replace it in your next box for free. You can't do that with your other snacks. Go to naturebox.com/thepatch right now to get 50% off your first box of delicious and unique snacks without any of the junk. That's naturebox.com/thepatch for 50% off your first box of the best tasting snacks in the world. Naturebox.com/thepatch for 50% off right now. Do it.
I'm literally doing it right now. While you're doing, no joke, I'm adding shit
Guacamole
to my
bites sound
pantry right
awesome.
now.
See, you totally
I really
listened.
wanna try
It worked.
that.
That's like superliminal advertising.
Yeah.
Buy it.
Do it right now.
Guacamole bites.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about this week on the patch was the big, I don't know how big it was, the announcement that Kojima Productions had about the character behind their logo for their new
There
studio.
was a lot of build-up for that, right? I mean, it was,
I think-
okay, here's the head, but there's more.
Well, they had kind of built it up for a
course,
while
that's
when they
how it
first
went.
released
Yeah.
the logo. That's what they said. You know, I remember Kojima talking about it, and I've got a sticker on my laptop. I remember Right.
Wow.
Perfect timing.
There you go.
That's my fault.
You should get the rest of it and put it on the bottom so you can flip it up.
Maybe I'll do that.
There you go.
I remember when they first, released the logo. I think Kojima said that
Ooh.
it was to talk about how the head. It was a head, and it could either be a spacesuit or a knight's helmet, and talking about the progress of technology and the people who are inside of these suits. And so finally, he had like kind of a weird Twitter contest, I guess, where he asked people to draw what they thought the body would look like, and he would retweet some of them, and there were some funny ones.
Sounded like not a real laugh, but it was.
You've been very not doing what you're meaning today.
I guess I feel like I'm no joke was like, oh, veggie something. And I'm like picking shit for my pants. You're like, oh, that sounded like I wasn't really. I was paying attention.
But so apparently the character is called Ludens, which I think he had said previously, and that the character is wearing an extravehicular activity creative suit.
Creative
So if you want to be
suit.
creative outside of your vehicle, that's the suit for you.
That's how I do it.
It's probably got like markers and
You
shit.
can't wear
the
that in a
figures.
vehicle.
It's got lots of room for activity.
It just hangs out on the side of the vehicle and get in it on the way out.
It kind of reminds me of the spacesuit that the what's it referred to as in the Aliens franchise? Is it Space Cowboy? Is that what the?
Oh, no, it was
what's
it was the space cowboy, right?
Is that it?
I think so.
I forget. It's the big dead astronaut is what it was
Right,
that they
right, yeah.
discovered in. Was it Aliens 2?
It was Aliens,
Aliens, which is
and then they kind of
Which is the
totally
second one.
glossed
Yeah.
over in Prometheus.
right. And they're like, oh, it's just giant people.
What's it like,
whatever.
Space Jockey?
Space.
Maybe that was
Yes,
it.
yeah, something
I think
like
it
that.
is Space Jockey.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Space Jockey.
Space Cowboys.
Is it?
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yes, CU Space Cowboy is what you're thinking.
Yeah.
For Cowboy Bebop.
So as far as the Ludens thing, it makes me wonder if that's an actual character for like a game that they have in development or something they're working on. Because it seems like lately, if you follow Kojima on Twitter, he's been on a tear visiting video game studios all around Europe.
Yeah, he was on like a world tour for a while. We covered.
still
went
is.
everywhere.
Yeah, he's like literally circling the world, stopping at every game developer along the way.
And he's always like with my dudes, and then he's off somewhere else. Like I didn't even know this many Game Mix Studios. We literally reported on it probably like 3 months ago.
It makes me wonder if he's out shopping around for engine technology. Trying to see what people have. That way they don't. Because but that doesn't really seem like his style. They always used Fox Engine proprietarily for Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
But maybe if he wants to ramp up, more quickly, if he's looking to just license an engine. That's pure speculation, of course.
Right,
I have
yeah,
no
That makes
idea.
sense. I mean, if you can avoid building an engine from the ground up, it's certainly a much easier way to go and much faster development process. Plus, with so many engines out there now that are going to a lighter licensing, like Unity and Unreal. For bigger game deployments, I'm sure they're still horrendously expensive, but they're just so flexible and well built and maintained already. It's got to be attractive.
Yeah. I could definitely see the value in that, but it depends entirely on what they're going to do with it, right?
Do you think he's just been he's been so hard at work on the Metal Gear series for so long that this is just him unwinding? Right, the world exists.
Well,
I've been in a hole for the past 4 years.
I don't think so, because I think he had previously said in an interview a couple of months ago that after leaving Konami that he thought about taking a break like that, but ultimately he decided against it, saying that he felt like he had other stories to tell and he wanted to get to work on them right away instead of taking time off, and that's why they started Kojima Productions up so
Why?
quickly.
The dude's 70. He has the body of a 12-year-old.
Whoa!
What did you say? He's 70?
I don't know. How old is he?
He's not. No, wow.
Wow.
Fucking serious shade from
man,
Ryan
Ryan,
over
Shade
here.
Talk
and
yourself.
I think maybe a little racism, honestly. If
Is
I'm to
it?
be honest, I
I'm
think
saying
there was a
all
little
I know
bit
is
of racism
all I know is
there.
he's old and he looks amazing.
He's 52.
Ryan, I don't
He
care what
looks like
I
he's
don't think you're
20.
racist. I don't care what everyone else
I don't
says.
care what
Little-
race he is. He
He's
looks
not
awesome.
racy. You're like the Linda Belcher of this group, where people say things and then you just twist it just a little because you're not really.
I didn't
listening.
twist anything. I said
You
he's
said
old and he
racist
looks
you
young
said
and
racy.
great.
Racy's different.
Racy means like sexy.
I know that it's different. I said race.
No,
Yes,
you said
I don't remember.
racy.
I don't care anymore.
Of course. not.
Fennec.
All I'm saying is the dude looks great for his age. How about that?
That's a good way to say
Yeah, but
it.
it looks like a 12-year-old.
Goddamn.
Sounds like an insult.
You thought he looked great for a 70-year-old. He's 52. You're like
And
2
he's-
decades off.
yeah.
Either
and
way, he
12.
looks
I
young.
think he's an old man. He looks
All I know is
prepubescent.
he's old. I picked old. 70's the new 50.
Guys, everybody calm down. I just got my first nature box.
Congratulations.
Did you get guacamole bites?
I didn't. I got other.
Oh,
good
you
stuff.
didn't. Fuck, damn it.
You don't know if you're happy or sad.
I
don't know
thought
if
she
I'm
said I
coming or
did,
going.
and I got excited.
If she did, she'd just eat him in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
It'd be very racist instead of racy.
You knew what I meant?
Yeah. Okay.
We didn't piece that one
My
together.
favorite's when you get mad and you start getting defensive.
I'm not defensive.
Oh,
I'm right.
no, this is fine. Frenetic. It's
Right.
real.
there-
Frantic.
Frantic.
In your defense, there's zero you could have said right there that she wouldn't
Yeah, I
have.
would
known.
have
That's true.
forced them
That's
to make fun
absolutely
of
true.
you.
It's
You
all
know
right.
that
That's
by
fine.
now.
That's fine. I'm
Oh, you
comfortable
son
with
of
who
a
I am.
bitch. No, it's all
Yep.
off.
Sucks to be you.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see
Oh.
what comes out of all that.
Gus, should we talk about the thing we talked about earlier? Did you get to dig into
I
it?
haven't
doubt
dug,
it.
I haven't
All right, you
dug
haven't dug
into it
enough.
anymore.
All right.
We heard we got a shadow of a story, a little interesting
think-
tidbit.
I think it warrants further investigation
I
before
think it
we
does
start
word.
talking about it.
Well, before maybe we give people a hint of what we're talking about here. So
Sure.
we talked about it enough. that
I'm
we-
This is
teased.
like- this
sure,
is-
I'm
my
titillated
gosh.
as heck.
I'm like
So we
ready for
got
the new movie.
an anonymous tip that so it turns out that there's some people. Okay.
Well, you're really being obsequious about this.
Oh, stop.
Someone somewhere
Stop with your
said something in my
obscurities.
ear
All right,
through a
anonymous
voice
tip.
changer.
Shut your fucking mouth, so I can tell you. So there are some verified accounts on Twitter of notable people within the video game industry who have very suddenly gone up in followers. And upon a tiny bit of digging, not enough, citation needed.
Yeah,
here.
we need to further
We
investigate.
need to further investigate. It looks like these fake accounts are liking or following are following a block of notable gaming talent, like all at the same time. So what it looks to be is a PR group that's buying their clients' followers and doing it in a really, really obvious way.
It's like the block is just like all at once.
Yep.
Do you think it's like some kind of lead into an ARG or something? Like,
No,
are they gaming it, or
I
are they
think
just
it's
really
they're
bad?
all probably represented by the same PR people.
I see. Do you
they're
want
all
to drop some names?
How many
Who-
more?
I'll show
How about some
you
numbers?
Yeah,
until
we'll show
we,
you the block. We're not gonna. But it's like people that you're like, no, why?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a spike.
He's actually just showing them boobs. There's
Yeah.
no
No, that
Twitter
was all
followers.
spiky tits.
I like what you're showing me here. Yes.
Yes.
I'd
Now
like
about
to see
these
more.
followers.
It's trending upwards.
So
So yeah, we'll dig around.
we'll
a little
dig
more,
around
see
a
if we
little
can
more.
Find any.
We didn't want to do like a news story on it because it's a little too like, oh my god, you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
People
some of
buy
those
Twitter
names were not
followers.
like
What?
names that I would think are currently relevant anymore.
Oh,
The
shit.
mystery
Wow.
deepens.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's not. They're
Leave
people.
who you think Ryan's talking shit about in the comments down below.
Yeah, someone out there
relevant,
just
but
bought a
they're
bunch
not
of
like-
followers. Just like, hey!
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's like people that are not notable at the moment. Like
That's
haven't
not
been
true.
topical. in a
Not
while.
true. Not true. I
I
disagree.
mean, I thought
alright.
all of these were notable.
Yep.
We'll
Very
talk
notable.
after the show
Okay.
and see who it is that you think.
Maybe next week we'll have some more juicy tidbits. We'll call a new segment Juicy
It's
Tidbits.
just like Greg Miller.
We'll call the segment. Hey, so I heard a thing.
I heard a thing
So I heard a
from
thing
an
from
anonymous
somebody.
source. The juicier parts, the source isn't anonymous.
Can we just get the
We're
like
just keeping it
We'll do a voice changer on him. And
Yeah.
just have
We should just use the scream killer voice
her.
though. The person.
or her. There you go.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You
They.
don't know.
I kept it they.
Hmm.
Zim.
Another story that I had read about this week was a rumor about Fable Legends. Again,
Oh, we're getting
rumor.
juicy. We're
But
getting
This was
juicy.
Doubling down
someone
on
else
rumors.
reported this rumor that apparently, during development, Fable Legends cost $75 million, and that nobody was really excited to work on it.
Oh,
Wow.
That ultimately, the studio really wanted to work on the next actual full Fable game.
I know
Right,
Jeff was
right.
excited to have
Jeff was
it.
super
Yeah,
excited.
he
Really?
was incredibly disappointed by that.
I was looking
canceled.
forward to it, to Fable Legends, but I like the Fable universe, so that's just me.
I really enjoyed Fable 3 if it wasn't a broken piece of shit. I
Wow.
enjoyed Fable 3. Like, I liked the content of the
Not
game.
wrong.
I really like this,
Broken
but I
piece
didn't
of
hate
shit.
it.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of 3. I liked 2 a lot, but I was not a fan of 3.
3 had the most amazing comparative play, where you'd be like, got an SCD. Jessica Chobot has 6 SCDs. And you'd be like, fuck, Jessica, I gotta get up there. They're the best. It would pop
Well,
up.
fuck Jessica,
It would
and then
be
you
an
will
easy
get up
way
there.
to
Yeah,
get
right.
there. Yeah, that would balance him out very quickly.
Yeah, I just remember that being a thing. Like, you kicked a chicken. It's like Ryan's kicked 40 chickens. You're like, fuck.
Chicken kick out.
Always pop up. I love that. Was like in the height of comparative play, popping up all the time in games. I miss that. I miss it.
Do you think the addition of like co-op play just took too much of the focus away from their development of getting it working properly.
Yes, because co-op is where it broke the most, and I played most of 3 in co-op, and it has a lot of weird bugs. Like you couldn't, like if someone went into their little weird like space pocket closet, you had to go with them. If you were in co-op, you couldn't continue to play the game. You had to just hang out in their weird little closet until they were done. It was awful.
No, you watch me dress.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I had more fun too.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you I recorded a video once? I don't think I ever put it out. Where in Fable 2, I had how did it go? In one town, I had 2 wives, I think, and one of them liked it when I hit her.
What?
And then the other
Wait,
one,
how do you know?
because there's like
You'd punch her in the face.
yeah,
No
do,
hearts.
there's like the wheel of things, right? I would
Right.
hit her, and then the hearts would come out.
Wait, the first time did you get mad? How did you discover it?
I hit her. I don't know.
That's just her-
my
How do you
other-
discover
It's a
anything?
video game. He was trying new things.
My other wife liked watching me hit her also, and then it got to a point where I guess like there were so many hearts going off that like the townspeople would come into my house and they would all start cheering and hearts would go off from them if I hit my wife. It was like a really weird, dark.
We all like domestic abuse here in this
segment.
town.
Yeah, so
And then you killed them all.
You recreated the lottery. Do you guys remember that? That's what you did.
but she was into it too. She was
yeah,
like,
but she was like, "Yay, the future of the town."
I might still have the video somewhere in the hard
I
drive
would
in my
love
office.
to see
I
that
can find it.
video.
Yeah, it was really, really bizarre.
That's an amazing thing to do in Fable 3. Beat your wife for the
Beat your
amusement
wife.
of the townspeople.
And to her own
to the
amusement.
Yeah,
amusement
to
of her other
It's
wife.
all
his other wife.
consensual beating.
Wait, was she? She might have been
Was she a prostitute?
Actually,
Yeah, I thought
it was my
that.
wife liked watching me beat the prostitute, and the prostitute liked
Oh,
me
that
beat-
makes
that's
more
right.
sense.
Yeah,
Ah,
that was
yeah.
it. That was
Makes
it. That
more
was it. Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now you're talking, real stuff.
That's some Scarlet Letter shit right there. All right.
God.
Now we're talking realistic.
Yeah, now we're
like,
being-
she won't let me hit her, but my prostitutes, yes.
Yeah, but the wife will be like, "Yeah, beat up the prostitute." That makes sense to
Get
me.
that hoe.
I mean, more so than like, oh, yeah, I'm on board with you having another wife as long as you beat her in front of
As
me.
long as you hit that out of the wife. Meanwhile, the wife's like, "Yeah, sure."
Hey, to each their own. I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay her to hit her? Or is she like around for, I don't remember how
It's like
prostitutes
$50.
work.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
you did have to pay her to get. I did have to pay her to get her to follow me into the house. I believe.
Right. But then when it was there,
It's the
Hey, whatever
creepiest
happens in the house,
conversation.
that's between you two.
I had to pay
And
her
the
50
townspeople when
bucks
they
to
show
lure
up.
in.
It's
You should have
consenting
sold
adults.
tickets. Yeah. Should
Yeah.
have sold tickets to the townspeople.
You should have had your wife at the door.
Yeah.
But then she wouldn't see it.
Well, she'll turn around. I mean, it's
Turn
not-
around every
yeah.
once in a
it's
while.
not a big cottage, all right?
This did happen upstairs.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I would just throwing that
Yeah,
out
get
there.
a bouncer then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What other fucked up things did you do in Fable 3? Let us know in the comments.
Well, sorry to anybody that wanted to do fucked up things in Fable Legends. So,
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Nope.
I was excited for it, but I mean,
are
ultimately,
you sad that you won't see a Fable 4?
I mean, I don't think this rules out the possibility of a Fable 4. We might not see a Lionhead develop Fable 4, but I mean, the
Well,
IP still
definitely
exists.
not.
Maybe it's ultimately for the best. Maybe we'll get a different team of people
You
who
think maybe
really
like
liked
a reboot?
Do you think
Yeah,
that?
maybe.
Do you think that? Because one of the things I think Fable suffered from was so many amazing promises, and then it was like an okay game, but I was promised the world.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think if we don't have Peter Molyneux out like talking about how it's going to change your life and you'll be a god, it'll be a little bit better?
Couldn't hurt.
Couldn't
Let's leave it at that. It couldn't hurt.
Can we get the inverse of that? Like someone that just promises very little, like, it'll be playable. You'll have
at
swords.
Well,
this
it's
point,
true.
That's
Like-
that's a selling point for a game. at
Nothing's
this
worse
point.
for a game nowadays than hype. Like
Mm-hmm.
too much hype is really bad. Like,
Too much hype, but also not working.
Yeah.
Like, when did we keep asking the question, I'm sick of asking it, but like, when did we enter into a world where all of our games are broken?
yeah, they
You
are.
know, it's an interesting point. Now, there was a 5 gig update for it when it launched, but I can't think of anything that didn't work in Doom.
All right. Well, there is one thing.
Okay,
Yeah, I
what?
do know.
Matchmaking.
Yeah.
Matchmaking is really slow.
The initial matchmaking, like just clicking find a game, for us in our Let's Play it took us like 10 to 12 minutes to find a game.
Jeremy, I'm going to be honest. I just kind of assumed that there was nobody playing when we were trying to play.
Yeah, we really think there's that few people playing?
I think it's sales on the I don't know what its numbers are, but I suspect the Xbox One daytime audience is probably the smallest subgroup of that game.
But I mean,
What, you're saying
even
stay-at-home moms don't want to play Xbox One?
Saying a lot of people seem to
Eggshell cedar buddy,
lean
eggshells.
towards the PC.
right. But I mean, even me just like by myself at home playing it at night. Like that
You're
initial
absolutely right. Matchmaking is slow.
that initial thing will take like between 5 and 10 minutes sometimes.
And it
I
does-
haven't even played it, but that's all I hear
and
you
then
say,
as soon
Ryan,
and
is
then
that
as
it
soon as
doesn't
you're in though, you're in.
Yeah,
Like the rest of the games.
It does not have like a stats on the playlist, so you can try and gravitate to wherever the most players are either. So that like in Halo, it used to be, or Call of Duty, you could see how many people were in certain playlists, which I think is really valuable if you're going to have a lot of playlists that spread your audience out.
Right, yeah.
And they've got a lot of playlists, and you don't know where they
Even
are.
if you don't show the number, like if you don't want to show a number, at least show like a big green bar for lots of people
Yeah.
and a short
Yeah.
red bar for very little people, or just like have some kind of visual cue.
I think we when we did the Let's Play, it took us about 20 minutes, but we also had a large party, which probably makes it harder to place us. And it was in the middle of the day on Xbox One.
The only I haven't really played the game, but I did boot it up on my PC, just to like check out the intro. So I played like 5 minutes of it maybe. And I did have one problem with it, but it was a graphics driver problem. Like I hadn't updated my driver, so when I went to launch it, the Bethesda logo that comes up took like 2 minutes to end. Like it was like a frame a second.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
But then once I got to the Doom main menu, it was fine and the game played fine. I was like, well, that's weird. So I quit. Then I updated my graphics driver, and then everything was fine.
That's really interesting.
Having a functional PC launch is really surprising as well. Though Bethesda tends to do pretty well with their PC integration. I mean, Fallout 4, I believe, worked on the PC just fine at launch. So they still care, I guess, about the PC audience.
Fallout 4 is going to get working again tomorrow.
Hey.
Oh yeah, the Far Harbor
Ahaba.
DLC, right?
Ahaba comes out.
They got fog.
It's true. Yeah. That's
No,
what you're
that's a
right,
big
is that-
thing. Fog.
That's one of the big things in that is that there's a fog that goes over Far Harbor, and like the enemies can hide in the fog.
I saw that they had a beta for it that people could get into on the PC side of things to get access to it, while they were still working on it. And I read a story that someone who was in the beta took the entire DLC and uploaded it to a mod website so that other people could download it as a mod, even though it was the full DLC that was
yeah.
unreleased
Really?
still.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
They
really
shut it
quick
down,
way to
but-
never, ever get invited to a beta ever
Right? Yeah.
again.
I'm like, well done,
Way to
buddy.
shoot
well
yourself
done.
right in the foot. You're not the people's champion anymore. Like, nobody cares that you did that. Oh, well, maybe. I don't know.
There's some
I don't
people,
want to
can
sound
get
too
the mod
salty.
for
Don't
free.
make that fucking face at me. I saw your face.
I'm sure there were a few hundred people that cared that
Yes,
downloaded
but
it.
I'm just saying, like,
It's douchey.
No,
Look,
it's douchey. It's douchey. Thank
It
you.
is. It's
Thank you.
well, piracy largely at this point I think is a I've been to the point where I was one that was prone to pirate things, and it was purely a phase of life. Like I couldn't afford them. And when you can't afford them, the free option sounds really
It's true.
appealing. And once you can't afford them, then you're like, oh, I'll pay back into the ecosystem that I abused for a while. So, I mean, I think kids that don't want to ask mom or dad for $20-$40 every week are going to steal stuff.
Absolutely. I just think there's a difference between, like, I'm torrenting something and I'm uploading something to a mod site for everyone to download. That's a little bit.
I think there's a big difference.
And this is supposed to be
Yeah.
a huge DLC.
Yeah,
too,
this
so
is
that's
supposed to be like the biggest one
It's
of
the
the
biggest
three.
world that Bethesda's ever made for a DLC, which is ridiculous because Oblivion had Shivering Isles, which
Yep.
was giant, and like so.
What was the big one in Fallout 3? It was
Fallout 3 would be.
Was it Point Lookout?
Point
yeah,
Lookout.
There was
there you go.
the
it was like
Pit.
a whole other island.
There
Point
was
Lookout was probably the
Operation
big one.
Anchorage, but that was small.
Yeah,
and then
Mothership
Mothership
Zeta.
Zeta was small.
Yeah.
Or you really like Mothership Zeta, and
I
it was my
hated
least
Mothership
favorite.
Zeta.
out of
That was
all
my
of
least
them.
favorite. I like something about the enemies in that one. Like I had played through all of the game, got into the level cap and everything. I was really overpowered at that point. You got to Mothership Zeta, and their weapons would like rip through you in that one. Like you were not a badass anymore in Mothership Zeta, and something about that, like doing all that work and then having it kind of taken away.
Well, I mean, isn't
made
that
hard.
good though? Like
To some people, yeah.
You
To
want that
me,
challenge. But what are you saying? You invested enough time.
You're saying,
that
I
you
played
the
should
whole
have
game.
been- I get what
I
you're
invested
saying.
a lot of like
I get what you're
what I
saying.
like about I like video games that do that. You invested a ton of time. Doom does it really well. You invested a ton of time in this. You're now ridiculously overpowered. I like that.
going back
But-
and playing previous levels, you're like, oh no, ha ha ha.
yeah,
this
because you
was hard
keep all
before.
your upgrades and everything like that. Doom does it well. Saints Row does that really well. Like you just
Yep.
play it a lot. You're invincible now at this point.
I think the problem I had with Mothership Zeta was that it removed you too much from the world.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't go anywhere.
The Pit and Point Lookout, you're at least still like in that world. But Mothership Zeta, it's like, nope, you're on a spaceship now, and it's like it's just a totally different.
Yeah, you could leave Point Lookout in the pit anytime you wanted. Well, like not at the very beginning
yeah.
of them, but you got to a point where they're like, hey, the boat's open again. Go back and forth while you finish these missions or whatever. Zeta was just like, finish this, carry what you can, otherwise you're gonna be over encumbered the entire DLC.
Yeah.
And then we'll send you home and never come back.
I never played the Pit or Point Lookout. I only played Mothership Zeta and Operation Anchorage, I believe.
Operation Anchorage.
And no, Brotherhood of Steel.
Broken Steel.
Broken
Broken
Steel.
Steel,
There you go. Which was you kind of had to play that one if you wanted to
You
play
had
any
to
more
play Broken
Fallout 3
Steel.
because otherwise you were. Spoiler?
No. It's
Yeah.
Fallout
No.
3. Come
no,
on.
No, you can't
No.
call it a spoiler. No.
Come on.
No.
No.
Yeah, you die at the end of Fallout 3. And then you don't.
Yeah.
As soon as you play Broken Steel.
You wake up.
Like, oh, no, we were good.
It's true. Yeah.
It's all good.
But it also raises the level cap. It adds all the new
Yeah.
enemies and stuff like that. That's what I liked. Like
The
Operation
perks
Anchorage.
that came in Broken Steel were like way OP.
Oh yeah, it was great. There was one that
that's
just
what I
raised
like.
all your stats to
Jeremy
9.
just wants to like smush through a level.
I
and,
just
like,
wanna be-
a giant.
That's what I am in Fallout 4 now. Like, you get power armor, you got like 100 fusion cores for it, so you're just constantly switching them out and then just truck through and destroy everything. I love it. It's so much fun.
I did that. At that point is when I'm like, I lose interest in the game because if I'm not scrapping for something, it's like,
What's funny is I
What's the
normally
point?
never travel with my power armor, even though I've got a ton
Oh,
of gear,
really?
of course. It's like I'll encounter a bad situation. I'm like, you wait here. I'm gonna be back.
Oh, wait till I come
You're gonna
back.
be sad when I come back in my armor.
I'm always in my power armor, constantly. And like sometimes if I'm paying close attention, you watch your fusion core. When it gets to like 2% life left, you take it out and you sell it for full price.
Oh, really?
Yep, that's what I do.
Okay.
what do you need the money for though?
Buy more fusion
God,
cores.
boy, yeah, wait, how did you not walk right into that answer?
You gotta be like,
Ryan?
that's the merchant I sell the bad fusion cores to, and over here's where I buy
And
the
then I
good
just
ones
buy
from.
the good ones.
Hey, you gotta imagine. I mean, it's still a fusion core, 2% power. It'd probably run your lights for a good long time.
Yeah.
It would, yeah.
Yeah,
You can just
For full
plug that.
price time.
Or
Yeah.
a blender. Sure,
It would run it for a while.
they can make a hell of a lot of smoothies
I was thinking margaritas, but whatever.
or
To each their own.
margaritas, yeah, whatever.
It's very PC, this one.
All right, let me read this other thing here. I want to remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is also brought to you by Trunk Club. There are two types of men out there, guys who love shopping for clothes but are short on time, and those of you who hate it. Either way, take heart. Now you can get clothes that fit perfectly and look amazing without ever stepping into a store again thanks to Trunk Club. Make it easy to look your best in clothes that fit you perfectly, handpicked by your own personal stylist for free with Trunk Club. Go to trunkclub.com/thepatch, type in your own measurements, share your likes and dislikes, and get your very own personal stylist. They'll pick your clothes from over 80 top brands and ship them right to your door. Keep what you like, send back what you don't. Trunk Club is not just another way to shop online. Your stylist takes the time to understand your unique look, and if you live in Dallas, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, or DC, you can even stop by one of the Trunk Club clubhouses to work with your stylist in person for free. Trunk Club is not a subscription service. There's no monthly fee. Your stylist is free, shipping is always free, and you have 10 days to try on the clothes risk-free. Make a statement at the next big event on your calendar with a look that's handpicked just for you and your style. Get started at Trunk Club today. Premium clothes, expert advice, no work, thanks to your very own personal stylist at Trunk Club. Get started at trunkclub.com/thepatch. That's trunkclub.com/thepatch. Trunkclub.com/thepatch. Thank you, Trunk Club, for supporting the podcast and helping me find snazzy clothes. Everything I'm wearing, my shirt and my pants, are from Trunk Club.
Nice.
You could look like this.
You too. On Twitter at Proof Puppet, said that they beat the game 100%, Fable 3, 100%, but then lost all their money in the chicken races.
Oh, you hate to see that.
I just hate to see it happen to a rookie.
It's like a cautionary tale.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
don't end up like that.
Get addicted to them chicken races.
It's like beating.
He lost all his scratch.
Oh, that's a good one. I like it.
man.
That's a good.
Thank
That's a
you.
really good one.
Thank
It's like
you.
beating Skyrim and just ending up addicted to skooma in the gutter,
I thought you were gonna
We've
say
all
it's like
been there.
beating a prostitute.
or like beating a prostitute.
While your wife
Well,
watches.
to make your wife happy. I mean,
Everyone's happy. The prostitute was
Yeah.
happy too. It was a.
Everyone
It was
was
okay.
happy.
Totally mutual.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah,
mutual.
it was a good time.
Everyone was about it.
Hey, Gus, you finally got a shipping notice for your
I
Oculus.
did. I wasn't going to talk about it. I forgot about it. I didn't put it
Yeah.
down. But yeah, I'm getting my Oculus tomorrow.
I still haven't gotten
Hey.
the one for us yet.
I'm so excited. I'll let you borrow mine.
Oh, thanks. No, we ordered one at basically the same time. And actually, I think ours would have gone out first, but we ordered it so long ago that we're using a corporate card that no longer works. And they were very obsequious about how they were approaching me about it. They're like, yeah, you might want to just check
Update your info.
shipping and update your info. We're trying to charge your order. I'm like, all right, whatever. I looked at it. It was like, oh, this looks correct, and finally realized that was a non-functioning card. So I haven't got our shipping yet. So hopefully within the next day or two we'll get ours.
Yeah, I'm really excited to try it out. I'm going to have it in a box right next to my Vive.
Yeah, it's like you're right now. You're like, oh, I'm so excited, but you're a man without a home. We were just talking about how you're trying to find a VR
trying to find
area.
a space somewhere in the studio where I can set these up and we can actually use them.
Ours are bumping into each other constantly.
Yeah.
It is sad though that about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think I broke down and just decided I want to buy a Vive for the house, for my house. And so I bought it, and it still took 2 or 3 weeks to get it. And that happened in, a sixth of the time that it took for us to get the Oculus from pre-ordering it.
Right. And has HTC stopped taking orders for the Vive? Did I read something right?
Well, maybe recently. Like I said, I just ordered one not more than a month or so ago.
Let me see.
And got it yesterday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Orders.
Hook that thing up.
It's
That's
a big box.
Yeah, it is.
It's
it is
huge.
a large box.
Though I guess with that amount of technology, you're like, pad it. Lots of padding.
There was a
Makes
ton
it
of
nice and
padding in it.
soft.
Like everything is in its own box in there, and then in like the foam, and then it's
Except the top.
So
Yep.
There's no foam thing on the top. Like I guess maybe there's some on the inside of the lid or something.
I didn't study the box that much. I opened it and I was like, oh, Vive.
So they have not halted
Open
orders.
up.
They did halt orders temporarily on the 14th for some reason, and they never explained why. They stopped.
They panicked.
And then later in the day, they're like, okay, or you can order again. So yeah, there must have been some hiccup or
It
something
may have
weird.
just been their back end for payment went down or something.
Maybe, yeah. The orders resumed. No further explanation was offered. It was showing us out of stock for a little while.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people that managed to scrabble and get Oculuses when they had their retail outlet
Right.
thing, but it was like 6 per store in 58 locations, I think.
So
Wow.
Well, it got better too because there was a few locations where, and I think this may have happened here in Austin, where people showed up to try and get them, and they were told by the management that like 50% of the ones they had were already reserved by employees.
of
Oh,
course.
wow.
Oh,
Holy
wow.
s'mores, like, I
That's-
felt like when I was an employee at GameStop, it was like, sorry, bitch, you got to be here and wait in line. Like, we never got preferential treatment for that stuff.
There was some people that raised to stink about it. I don't know that it
Well,
was
of
at
course
most
they did,
locations.
because
Yeah,
I mean, like, I can
fair.
understand the employees, wanted that to be the case, but you can't do that.
Get in
You
the
just
line
can't-
then.
Yeah.
Show up, get in line.
Maybe, yeah, you should get a job there.
Yeah.
Get on the inside.
But I mean, genuinely, like, show up and, like, I remember having to wait to get my Resident Evil Xbox 360. I had to, like, sit outside and wait for the midnight release and then go get it because I wanted it. Like, you don't get preferential treatment? Come on now.
No,
on. Oh.
I don't know that it was a general policy, but it certainly angered people. At
It sounds like like a middle manager got fired, I'm sure.
Very
or
possibly, yeah.
like a no-no.
There was a lot of horror stories of somebody was like, they showed up on the wrong day, and the manager was like, no, yeah, we got you, and then they came back and they're like, nah, who are you? I don't remember you.
I wasn't the manager here yesterday.
And of course, now that, these VR headsets are shipping and finally getting in their hands of consumers, NVIDIA announces a new car.
Yes.
Yep.
They,
Welcome to 1080.
Yeah, they unveiled the 1080.
The
Which,
1080, and then followed by the 1070, the more cost-effective version.
Right.
1080, I think, is going to be around 600.
Yeah, I believe
bucks,
so.
And 1070 would be about 350, 400.
But still, let's talk
somewhere
about $600 for an amazing graphics card.
It
Like
seems
better
like a
than a
good deal.
Titan.
Yeah.
Better than Titan X.
Sounds like a really good deal.
Yeah.
It is better than several of the SLI configurations.
Now,
though
they said the 1070 was better than the Titan as well?
It's, I believe, above it on the curve. Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot of things to optimize it, especially for DX12, which is where you'll see like your major performance increases. So there's even been some benchmarks posted of comparing the 1080 to the 980 Ti, which
I've
is,
seen those, yeah.
Yeah, and for a lot of non-DX12 stuff, it's there's definitely an improvement with 1080, but with DX12, it's like 50%.
Yeah, if you're not doing DX12 stuff, it seems like the change is the 1080 is better, but it's incremental over the Ti.
Yeah.
But on the DX12 stuff, so it really pulls ahead.
Which, I mean, you're not going to need
Just
it.
bought a 970. Like,
Really? I literally just looked up my
Yeah.
Amazon order for my 780, which I bought in 2014.
Which is that was the top end card at the time.
yeah.
That was the shit. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was $560. So like I cannot believe that I'm gonna get a 1080 for that.
Yeah.
The 980 Ti that we got here at the office, and I got one at home, was about $600.
Well, the Titan was out when I got my 780. And
Titans were over $1,000.
yeah,
right?
that's what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's so crazy that it's like the brand new card and it's not $1,000.
And has the performance of the
there's
over
some,
$1,000
performance
card.
specs there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have the 1070 though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That green bar is higher. I buy green bar.
Yep.
That's what I see.
I buy
Eyeball it.
green bar.
That's what I
Only
see.
green bar.
Oh, green bar look good. I buy green bar.
Meg buy green bar.
Meg buy green bar.
Green
Tall
bar
bar
make
for me.
games
Yes.
good.
Here's how I built my PC. Logical increments. Click, 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 click. Then somebody thought for me, and I put it all together.
The other major thing
Legos.
they're working on is the Legos.
Very important. That's very
It's not-
very
it's-
advanced Legos.
It basically is, yeah. You just plug things into slots.
That's life.
It is. They've been working a lot too on basically this idea of asynchronous rendering. I almost didn't manage to say that, but which is very critical to the notion of VR. So that is also where it's expected to have the best benefit, the most benefit, is having that ability to render things from multiple perspectives and save render time on it. So we'll see. There's not a lot of hard benchmarks out there for it yet.
The card's not even fully available, right? It doesn't launch to consumers, I think, until, I want to say, like the 27th or something.
Yeah.
So, like, next Friday.
Yeah, soon.
Oh boy. Oh
So,
boy. I spend money on that.
every
Yeah,
time.
we're 27th.
Every time. I never buy a video card at
Yeah,
the
next
right
Friday.
time.
Yeah.
Ever.
Me neither.
I just got a
I'm so
980 like a
excited,
week
yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
Or
I bought
like
my
a month ago.
I bought my
mean.
970 2 months ago, maybe.
I've been sitting on my 780, and now's my time.
And I knew it was coming. Like, I mean, NVIDIA's been saying they were going to talk about it sometime in Q1 2016, but you never know. And it's like, that's a long time
It was
off.
also weird the way, or the venue and the avenue they chose to announce it.
DreamHack Austin.
Yeah, they announced it during DreamHack here in Austin. Not
There's a
at
little thing
DreamHack,
flying
but DreamHack
Yeah,
is going
DreamHack
on.
Austin. Yeah, was
It
going
seems- I
on.
never think of DreamHack as being like
No.
a venue for
Not
product
at
launches
all.
or announcements.
At all.
Jack was
No,
there.
Very weird.
That whole Order of 10 thing. Like, they sent us that ARG. Well, that'd be an ARG, right?
What? I don't know. I didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sent us this Pelican case with just a
Oh, that's the thing.
metal
You were like
thing in it.
late to a shoot because you were like, I was playing with a Pelican case.
Was I?
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that was
probably.
like to do with this.
Yeah, no, that was they sent us and I guess 5 other groups this thing that was all pieces of a puzzle, and you had to go to a website and you kind of figure out what it was, and then that led to a countdown, which Jack actually left off topic and we did a roving off topic where he was just out in the field following the clues around Austin.
It was like him and Adam
and
Ellis. Yeah.
where you go to a spot and it would have like a little icon there, and they'd have to take a picture of it, and it'd like lead you to the next one, and then you get to the end and they got VIP passes to the DreamHack where they announced the NVIDIA 1080.
Yeah.
So they didn't get one yet.
That's the wait. Were they promised one?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the only reason. Hey, Gus.
So
Let's reserve our seats for Microsoft this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about E3 a little bit because
Oh.
you get a console, and you
that
get a
is how
console.
it goes. When they did the Bowtie 360,
You wanna get
everybody
Oprah'd?
was there, and everybody got Oprah'd. Although apparently everyone got theirs like a couple weeks after
Yeah.
they actually came out. But they said they're going to talk about new hardware today. They said today, new
The Xbox
controller.
One Slim.
Yes, new controller and
I mean-
possibly more, which we're hoping is the Xbox 1.2.
I got an invite for their E3 briefing, but I had one for Bethesda, but I still have never received one for Sony.
Oh,
Sony
really?
sent me an invite.
Wait, I
We've
think
said
we
too many
got
bad
one for
things.
last
No, we like
year.
Uncharted. We like
The
Uncharted.
Note got
It's
one
nice.
last year.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
Uncharted's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Sony,
Crash Bandicoot, we
lovely.
like
Yeah. Hey, share me that Microsoft one though, because I don't
Push
know
me,
if I
pull
have
you?
a
All right.
Microsoft one.
Should
so-
Paul you
Yeah,
was,
that's a good
was
one.
okay.
I
for
want to
like
go. I want to
Yeah.
sit just for at the end. If I haven't gotten anything for free, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna knock somebody's drink over my laptop.
But I
Throw it
went
up
to
on
the-
stage.
Last year, when I went to the Microsoft E3 presser, that was the first time I'd ever actually been to one. It was really cool to actually be at one in person because every year I normally watch like the live
Yeah, I've
stream.
never been to one in person.
And it was cool to actually be sitting there while everything's going on. Yeah. It's like a nerdy concert.
No,
Like,
it is.
Yeah, it really is.
Everyone's like super excited and hype.
I honestly spent a long time the other day just watching press announcements like that to hear the audience's reaction to it. One of the craziest ones was the remake of Final Fantasy.
I thought I was literally like, if you don't mention the
That one
Final
was
Fantasy
nuts.
VII remake, because then there was like they were excited, then they weren't excited,
Yeah.
then they were excited again.
You can hear the whole audience
It's like
going,
a whiplash.
Oh, as if
Everybody's
they thought they knew what it
excited.
was. And like,
Yep.
oh my
Oh,
gosh.
it's so good.
I love watching shit like that.
Yes.
And the crowd get all worked up.
We've talked a lot of times, and it comes up a lot. Like, what's the point anymore? Like, you can watch these things online. If you're covering it as a journalist, why would you bother to go to the event? It's just way more inconvenient. But that's why it's a theater production,
Right.
basically.
Well, but if you're doing it for news, though, like it makes a lot more sense not to be there. Like people do live blogs from them. The internet's never good. You get the information faster being away. Last year, actually, we were all in town during the press conferences and still chose to watch them on our laptops and our Airbnbs.
It'd be really cool if one of them just blacked it out once. Like they had some
But
kind
they
of
used to do that.
a network killer.
They used to do that. They
Yeah?
used to do not like they blacked out their press conference, but they used to do like exclusive streaming rights. Like G4 used to have like they were the only place you could watch. You couldn't watch online.
I want one of them to actually shut it all down
Oh.
so that it's like complete black box. Like they tell these group of people in this room whatever it is, and then it's just like watch it
But that
Wait,
will
but they
leak, that will
do
leak
that.
immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watch
they
it
they
disseminate.
do that at like they do that at E3 behind
Right.
closed doors productions
behind
or like
behind closed door
presentations.
demo,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, to the public you only see a trailer, but for
We've
select
got 20
people,
minutes,
Maybe I
yeah.
just want to be. I would want to be sitting outside the room as all of those journalists come stampeding
Yeah.
out, like desperate
You're
to get
waiting
to.
for-
Let me see it.
You want to go back to like 1920 when
Yeah.
it's like the president.
News! Here comes the news!
Oh my
Out of the way, boys!
Get on the wire, kids.
yeah, there's like a bank of payphones.
Yeah, exactly. And people are like,
It's
oh
just
my
in
God.
the GTX 1080.
Buy, sell.
That's the
Green
hottest
bar,
thing in the
good.
market.
Buy green bar.
Buy green.
Buy green, so red.
Meg say green good.
Green, good.
Yeah, so I can't believe how soon already E3
know,
is. It's just a couple of weeks
E3.
away.
I'm
It's
so
less than a
hyped.
month now. Yeah.
Yes, very hype, very excited. E3 is always exciting, and I get really pissed off because we get this thing happening now more than ever, which is people holding their own events. We have EA's EA Play, where they're doing their own little E3 like strike. They've gone on strike. We also had when the PS4 and Xbox One were announced, they were announced outside of E3. Like things like that really annoy me because
That wasn't just
expect-
outside of E3. That was like months before,
Yeah.
right?
And I expect E3 to be where you announce stuff and it's Nerd Christmas. And now we have Nintendo's not even doing their direct. Like they did a stage presentation, they stepped that down to a direct. Now they're not even doing the direct. They're showing one
they'll have
game on
Zelda
the
there.
floor.
They have a treehouse.
One game. And that's so weird because their booth is usually huge and it has all these different photo areas and it's really fun and super cute. Is it really only going to be Zelda this year?
Yeah,
Like
they're
that's how
taking one
worried.
But game.
it's
No, I know.
Zelda.
That's what. But like, it's not going to be that square footage. You know what I mean? That makes me sad. It makes me worried for Nintendo because it's just a big image
It
blow.
makes
to
me more worried for E3 as a show if everyone's pulling out and doing their own thing. And
I don't know. I think E3 goes through it ebbs and flows. Remember when it used to be like it was tiny and really boring, and now it's back to being big, and people are getting disenfranchised with it and are disenchanted with it. And
it's all frantic.
It's very frantic.
There you go.
I
Do
don't
you
know.
think-
It'll still come around.
Is Nintendo going through a thing like, didn't Coke have this period where like, we're big, we're Coke, we don't have to advertise anymore, and as soon as they stopped advertising, their sales like tanked?
I
don't
think
know.
Nintendo was like, we fucking tanked because we released a console that people thought was an add-on for our old console. Now we're in trouble. We got to figure out how to like whip this plane back up.
They're
or
going
we're
to do it. They're going to
screwed.
use
Yeah,
the
they're
momentum.
trying to do a controlled dive.
That's
But
how
at this point,
planes
it's
work,
just
yeah.
it's like this. So I'm hoping NX. Come on, but that would have been the time.
That'll be what rips
This
the
should
wings
have been
off.
the time.
right, when isn't that
Wings
supposed to
down.
come out early
March,
next year,
yeah,
right?
March next year. Why
Which is
wouldn't
also
you
a
show
weird
it at
release
E3? Yep.
time.
Why wouldn't you have
Yeah.
done it for holiday? Why so
There's
many things? Nintendo?
focusing
Well,
on their own direct.
I mean, if they got something
But
big,
they're not doing the direct.
if they got
I mean,
something
like later,
big,
I'm sure.
unique,
Yeah.
special, like if they were really confident that they've got something that's going to blow the world away, why wouldn't you want to do it at your own
See,
venue?
I don't think that's what they think, though. I think
okay.
our thing. No, but let me explain why.
Like,
I
no,
can't,
they're
Go to
boned.
hell.
They know they're
reach
boned.
you.
Go fuck yourself.
What I mean is,
Play with my rocks.
shut up, Ryan. I think if they had something like a Fallout 4, right?
Yeah.
You can still make, I think last year we found with Fallout 4, you can make an announcement in the midst of the news chaos that is E3 and still make a huge splash. That's what Fallout 4 did. I think the NX, they already think not big and great enough to be its own like mic drop moment. So it's definitely going to get lost in the buzz of E3. So better not to play in the buzz of E3 at all.
Or
Like
like-
it makes me more worried for the NX.
Yeah, like they're afraid of going up against other announcements
Yep.
that aren't necessarily even hardware announcements, or
Right.
if they are, it's like iterative. It's like
Because they're
PS4.5 or
right.
whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
But like
Xbox
their
Slim,
like that
yeah.
makes me worry. Like their hardware is not good enough to stand up to those announcements.
Ooh.
Worried
I
for
can see that
Nintendo.
point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Do you think they're afraid of just jumping too far with their hardware, like taking things? Because I mean, there's no reason they couldn't make a modern console at this point, right?
Yeah, why don't they though? That's the thing that's confusing to me. Why not make?
Because they're Nintendo. They got to be different.
They
They
mean,
always
It
are.
used to be like I feel like Nintendo used to be the leader of the pack, and now they're like, hey
It did
guys, we're
back
back
in the
here.
day, and then they went to like the innovative side of things. Like they wanted to try new things with every new console, and then like consoles just stayed the same, except for Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, they did that right on the cusp of everybody going to HD and higher graphics, and they were like, who needs HDMI? Really? Like, component's still fine. Everybody likes a component, right? You
Yep.
like it?
What's funny is I was thinking about Nintendo the other day when I was playing Uncharted 4. Again, going back to our earlier discussion about Crash Bandicoot. They show the PlayStation 1 and watching Nathan Drake play the game with a wired controller. I was like, God, that's so weird to me now to think about how consoles used to always have wired controllers. And I thought Nintendo had the first party wireless controller. They had the Wavebird with the GameCube. And I was like, that was like so innovative. And now it's like you don't ever think of having a wired controller. I mean, do they sell wired PlayStation 4 or Xbox One controllers?
They just sell a cable you can plug
Right.
your
Yeah.
wireless
It's like-
controller in.
Right.
I mean, I don't think
Probably like
just-
a Mad Cat.
I don't
sort
think
of thing.
Microsoft itself sells a wired controller. Does
I
it?
don't think
they're all
Sony
third
does
party.
either.
Right, because like even for the 360, they had a separate wired controller that didn't have like a compartment for the battery, so it was like a little
Right.
lighter and felt a little different. But you don't even get that now. Now it's just plug your wireless controller in.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right. Well, it's that time. We got to wrap.
Oh shit.
So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for joining. I feel like we had a very good discussion about games, and we'll see you guys next week.